And I think it was the Malcolm Gladwell book, Outliers, where I think that was the one, I may be mistaken. It was one of his books where he talked about, and I don't mean this, these are kind of his words, if I'm remembering correctly, was, do you want to be a big fish in a small pond, or the reverse of that, right? And so some folks are like, oh, I need to go to Harvard. And again, I'm paraphrasing the example he had given in this book. And it's one of those things where it's like, but if you're in small town and so on and so forth, and you're used to kind of being in that environment where you thrive and you do well and you can contribute and all that good stuff. And then you go to this major environment, it can not be a good fit at the end of the day, as I think the sum of that. And so I think, to your point, that aha moment of sometimes as individuals, we may think we want this. However, I really think you're articulating so well the whole, hey, what works well for me? Where can I give back? Where can I contribute? What fills my tank? Those are a lot of things that really come into play for us from a career standpoint, because we spend so much time and effort and energy. And as adults, a lot of our relationships come from work.
Yeah.
So I think being able to really lean into that and pour into that and figure out, okay, what is the environment in which I thrive and how can I give back to the most of my abilities is really, really powerful.
To your point about being a big fish in a small pond, or the reverse of that, I was at a high school graduation last week, and one of the valedictorians gave a great speech, but there was something that really stuck with me in that speech. And he was talking about all of the schools that he had applied to and the big schools that he had really aspired to go to. And he was waiting and waiting and waiting for that acceptance. And, he had gotten offers and scholarships in other places from a sports perspective, but he was waiting and waiting and waiting for that Harvard type to accept him. And in doing so, he ended up losing one of the opportunities that he had. And his advice to the graduating class was something about, go where you're supported. That's where you'll thrive. He was waiting to get into Harvard, which, didn't want him, where there were all of these other opportunities, places that he could be that wanted him, that would support him, and where he would thrive. And so I just thought that was a really insightful takeaway from a high school graduate to, share out, go where you will be supported.
That is beautiful, and I couldn't agree more. And so I was having a conversation earlier, and I agree with you from a career perspective. Go where you're wanted, right? Where people see you as that human, and see your skill set and all that good stuff too. And then I think too, from the sales side, is, man alive, if people don't want what you have right now, let's not try to do the deal at the expense of just bad business at the end of the day. That's not a good relationship either. And coming together and doing business together is a relationship driven function. So I think, man, Lori, that's I like go where you're supported. I 100% agree with you on that.